The last 3 years in Canberra, this man that's on the line has won the Mal Meninga medal each and every year. He is very much in the game's elite. Right now, he is a part of a Canberra team which is in absolutely incredible form. Not playing the perfect 80 minutes, like 3 weeks in a row have come back from behind to win. But this Saturday, because of their efforts, they're now second on the ladder and playing the top place Bulldogs. 3 o'clock Saturday, hottest ticket in town. Canberra, home match. Joseph Tapine on the line. Joe, welcome to Breakfast with Vossy and Brandy.
Hey, brothers, how are you?
We are good, my friend. Look, the sun must be shining brilliantly in Canberra today. This has been an incredible start to the season, and it was right from the very first game in Vegas. The Canberra game over there, you were taking on a Warriors side, you wiped them out, and you've just kept on going since then.
Yeah, we had a couple hiccups on the way. I think the Manly and Cowboys games really opened our eyes, and we had to, get back to working hard. But five wins on the trot. It's pretty good for us.
It is pretty good, and it's been great to watch. And Joe, I would say, and talking about the Raiders, the reason why you're going so well when you run through the team individually, there's not many players in the lineup, and I'm talking even bench players that aren't playing their best footy. Like it's a side individually in career best form. It's hard to beat a side when individuals are playing like that.
Yeah, definitely. I said at a press conference that we don't rely on one or two players. I think the whole squad's stepping up, and even Savilio, first year, and he's killing it. Puts his hand up every carry, and he's strong as hell. So. Everyone's playing their best footy at the moment, and we just got to continue it. Still early in the year. Yeah,
a couple of new players, and you mentioned one there, Tamale, who's been fantastic, signed from the Dragons. Also, the young Englishman, Matty Nicholson. Not many people knew that much about Matty Nicholson, and the Raiders have made a habit of signing good English players. But boy, he's been a surprise. What a player.
Yeah, 100%. All the Pommies we signed are always tough, but. He runs a great line and has a lot of footy IQ, so I've enjoyed playing alongside him.
Now you are one of the best front rowers in the game. You've been that for some time, and you've got one of the your front row partner coming off the bench now. But Big Papa's been the number one years back, but he was the GOAT for a long time, wasn't he?
100%.
Yeah, he was the man. Now, you've taken over that role and done it well for the last few years. Who is the toughest? Who do you regard as the best front rower that you come up against?
Oh, for me, it's pretty hard to go past Payne Haas. I think his age and what he's doing in the game and what he's done over the last couple of years, he's a freak of nature. I love playing against the best, and he's definitely, I reckon, up there.
Yeah, and that was the reason when you played, and I called this game when you played the Broncos in round 2 after they put 50 on the Roosters. Everyone said,
"Oh, down in Canberra, yeah."
Payne Haas, Pat Carrigan, you and Big Red did a job on them that night, didn't you? And
I didn't even play that night.
Didn't play. No, it was suspended.
That's right.
Vegas.
That's why it was going to be a bigger challenge.
Take it all back, Joe.
Joe, we'll remove that.
Yeah. You've done nothing, Joe.
Big Red.
Why have we got Joe on?
I think next time we play Broncos, I might have to have a risk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, Joseph, now let's face it, you are a veteran. I'm trying to be respectful, but you're happy with that. You're now 31 years of age. You've topped the 200 games, which is incredible effort in a very tough position. Brandy and I have been talking about the language of rugby league, what is said behind closed doors. Terminology used. In your time playing rugby league, what was said in 2014, are there new expressions like in team meetings, like we're talking about out the back of shape, and these sorts of expressions have crept in? Can you pull back the curtain what it's like being a rugby league player of your vintage now, how you've had to adjust to new language, Joseph?
I think the language is kind of similar. It's just the speed of the game's changed. When I first started playing, it was Shannon Boyd's and Paul Vaughan's are humongous, and now they've kind of slipped. You have to kind of slim down to fit the game. But the language is still pretty similar. Still running pretty much the same shapes, and it's just a bit faster and harder to catch those nippy dudes.
So I think Joe's Ricky. Joe's too, like even though Joe's 30, like coming up to 31. Joe's contemporary. Like, he's been part of it, so he hasn't known. I think you got to delve. I think we're going to go back further.
Years.
Yeah.
So we're saying, Joe, what's happening on our show today? We've got an American on, Corey Jackson, coming on later. He's written a book, NRL 101. He's explaining rugby league to an American who's never seen the game, and he's put in all these terms that we use about things. So things like shape and out the back of shape and these sorts of things that you would just take for granted in a game plan. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
I'm
just so used to the same old thing.
Joe's just used to that. The terminology hasn't changed a great deal in 10 years, but...
Okay. Here's the next question. In the 10 years you've played, Joe, and as you become older and family man, all that, is it just as much fun? We don't often ask a player, is what you do fun? Like, it's a job and it's great and there's crowds like the other day. But what about the actual fun? Is it more fun now than when you first started?
Oh, when you're winning, it is. So it's very fun at the moment. A couple of years ago, it wasn't as fun, but. When you're traveling good, the body feels all right. It's fun. But when things don't go your way in that,
What about some of the wins you've had in recent weeks? Coming from behind, there's been no panic. The Dolphins down 28-10. Like, the Dolphins put together a great half of footy. You blokes didn't panic. There was no panic against the Titans, 16-0. And then against the Melbourne Storm at Magic Round. Now, what a game that was, Joe. That was quite a game and a win.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely worked on our off season. We had an army camp and had boys come in and kind of, because we get kind of panicky when we're behind in previous years and start kind of turning on each other. And I think we've changed that kind of outlook this year, and it's helped us in games. And a lot of us senior boys are kind of pulling that in. But we're not happy with how we're starting either. At the same time, we don't want to give those leads away. We want to play 80 minutes footy and not make it tough on ourselves.
That's interesting, the impact of the army camp. So it's more than just, making you compete under absolute fatigue. There's actually a bit of strategy spoken about and tools for you to use strategically in rugby league?
Yeah, mentally, a bit of breathing, focusing on next job, just little stuff like that that people take for granted, I think.
You're talking about the starts, and the Bulldogs, in their 7 wins so far, have beaten sides. They've had sides beaten in the opening 20 minutes. That is their strength. And I guess Ricky's talking about that and making you blokes aware that you can't get out of the blocks slow this weekend.
No, definitely. They've got a good pack, full of energy, and they just work hard. So I'm looking forward to the challenge this week. I reckon it's going to be a cracking game.
All right, Joe. So one last one, Jamal Fogarty. It is big news, but we were saying earlier today, like what Roosters doing with Dom Young, what happened with Lockie Galvin, Dylan Brown, Daly Cherry Evans. It's just business. You as a player, did you have a one-on-one with Jamal and express any feelings,
or do you
it's
need
just business?
to? Or you just
you get on with the job.
I just congratulated him. Him and his family are a big part of our club, and obviously, it's a business, and people get good opportunities, and for him to come to Canberra and build how he has and got a good contract for him and his family is huge. And he's going to be a part of this team even after he's gone.
Impressive answer, Joe. Impressive answer. I reckon a lot of people saying, Joe Tapine sounds like a good fella. Joe, still ambitious to represent your country. You've done that many times for New Zealand. Australia have the big tour at the end of the year going over to England, but then I think the plan is New Zealand to go to England the following year. And then, of course, there's a World Cup. The international footy still important to you, Joe?
100%. It's going to be some tough games this year with Tonga and Samoa. Digging a lot of players go back and play for them, and then quality players too. So I can't wait. Represent my country is always a top for me, and I can't wait.
Yeah, great stuff. That's the Pacific Championships this year with Australia absent. This is what we will have at the end of the year. Joseph, can't wait for Saturday, 3:00. It deserves to be a sellout. I think it will be a sellout, and it'll be one of the matches of the year, the Raiders and the Bulldogs.
Thank you, brothers.
On you, Joey.
Thanks for watching. For more great content, subscribe to SEN League, your home of the greatest game of all.